Will we ever know the sentences that we learn in Duolingo are actually going to help us out in the long run? Hello everyone, welcome to Nareen Side with MS. This is Nareen and it's time for Mindful Monday. And this Mindful Monday, I wanted to talk about, a whole host of things. But I think I'll probably stop it at, something that deals with being mindful. And I think, one of the things that, definitely was something that I wanted to focus on today was, trying to be mindful just because it was the start of the week. And it just so happened that I was so busy doing some, important but very tedious tasks that, it ended up just taking a lot of time. It ended up taking a lot of effort. And at the end of, completing everything, which really involved, it involved a lot of, going back and doing a lot of things over and over again, I ended up wasting a lot of time. And then when it came time for me to, be mindful, to uh, meditate, and, it is, I consider it pretty important to meditate, especially uh, on days where I'm actually taking a break from yoga. um, I just did not have it in me to enter that space. And I think part of the reason was, just having to do so many tedious tasks. And it actually got me thinking that, doing something that is just so, you know, repetitive and something that is, shouldn't take a very long time, but it, the end result is that it definitely takes a lot longer than you're expecting. um, is that maybe a barrier, or maybe the opposite of being mindful? Because at the end of the day, it is a mindless activity, right? You're expecting something that will happen very quickly. You are expecting something that will, um, you know, pretty much, finish, within the 5 to 10 minute mark. And then next thing you know, you're at it for like the fourth or the fifth hour, and it's just because nothing is working out. And just thinking about all of that, it makes sense that yes, some mindless activity can definitely be the antonym of, mindful activity. And sometimes, the mindlessness becomes just so high that it's very hard to, kind of bring it down to more of a grounded, mindful sort of thought process. And considering that I actually experienced that today, I wanted to really bring that up. That, there are days where you want to do something, you want to be mindful, you want to do something that is personal to you, except, your day is unfortunately um, ruined by, the kind of work you ended up doing. And this is all personal work, so it's not anything professional or educational or anything that would have made, me better at the end of it. It was just busy work. And the thing was that the busy work kept me so busy, and it was failing so often that, I just kept having to repeat it over and over and over. And as a result, now I am here. I am, you know, at the end of a day where I literally felt that I did not achieve anything, because even if I succeeded in doing the mindless activities, they were so mindless that I couldn't even cancel them out by doing the mindful activity. So, with that being said, I wanted to turn this over to you. If you are engaging in a mindless activity, how do you get out of it? How do you try to remain a little more mindful? How do you maybe try to salvage, the mindfulness of that day, especially when it's filled with mindless activities? Please do share whatever you have, because at the end of the day, considering that I did a mindless activity for myself, chances are I'll have to do it for other people as well. And if that is happening this week, and I hope that I do end up doing something fruitful this week, um, I do want to have doses of mindfulness in between, just so I can feel that yes, my successes actually have a little version, like their own sense of validation to it. So yes, please do share your thoughts, your insights, your experiences, so that we can get a conversation started. But of course, with all of that said, this is Naren Sai with MS. I am Naren, and I do hope that your Monday was at least a little better than mine, that you were able to be a little more mindful in it, because I certainly did not have the ability to do it. I tried meditating. I was getting into the zone, and then suddenly, for some reason, I just snapped out of it, and I just said, okay, today is not the day to be mindful. So I do hope you have something that you can share with me that I can maybe put to use, so that I can reclaim that mindfulness that I definitely do like. And so I can maybe be a little happier and not be as grouchy as I might be today. So, with all of that said, here's me wishing you a good night, sweet dreams, and I will catch you tomorrow. Bye.